Monday, May 15th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including the search for a man who held up a Stratford store with a rifle, a broken pipe shutting down a local high school, and much more. Frank Granito will have a look at your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports Update, and Donald Eng will join us to take a look back on this date in history. But first, Stratford police are looking for a man who held up a Barnum Avenue convenience store with a rifle and had reportedly held up the same store a few days before. Stratford police said a man entered the 24/7 Express Mart on Barnum Avenue just after midnight on May 5th. Police said the store clerk was alone when the suspect came in, wearing a white hoodie over his head, a black ski mask over the bottom half of his face, as well as white sweatpants and black gloves. Police said that suspect, a white or Hispanic man, held a large rifle with a scope and pointed it at the clerk and told him to give him money or he would shoot him. The clerk gave the suspect about $200 from the cash register. Police said that suspect put the rifle into his waistband and down his pant leg and then left the store on foot, traveling across Barnum Avenue onto Broadbridge Avenue northbound. Now, the store's clerk told police that that suspect spoke English, and this was the same suspect who robbed the 24/7 Express store back on April 30th. Police later used a K-9 unit and found a .22 caliber rifle, a $10 bill, and a pair of black sunglasses in the front yard of 1671 Broadbridge Avenue. They're now asking anyone with information to contact the Stratford police. And a video that apparently shows a 15-year-old after he was shot by a police officer in Connecticut was obtained by state police, and authorities confirmed that on Sunday. The AP reports that police said they have seen the video posted Friday on Twitter and Instagram by Giovanni Rivera, who says he's the cousin of Jason Negron. Police said Bridgeport officer James Boulay shot the teen after Negron struck the officer with a stolen car on Tuesday. Police pronounced Negron dead at the scene. Negron's passenger, 21-year-old Julian Fief of Bridgeport, was shot in the shoulder and is expected to make a full recovery. No one in the car had a weapon. The 1-minute shaky amateur video shows a handcuffed Negron lying on the ground. The camera turns away from him, and when it cuts back 4 seconds later, Negron's head changes direction. An officer is standing near him, and toward the end, an officer wearing gloves appears to reach down as if he's going to lift Negron. Rivera told the Hartford Courant that his family was told Negron was killed when he was shot, but thinks the video contradicts that. Now, he said if that crucial part of the story is a lie, everything else is up for question. Autopsy results show that Negron died from gunshot wounds to the chest. And in other news, one person suffered serious injuries and 3 suffered some minor injuries in a 3-car Route 15 crash in Milford Friday afternoon that shut down the northbound lane of the highway for 4 hours. According to state police, a 26-year-old Meriden man was seriously injured after the Chevy Express cargo van he was driving northbound on Route 15 struck the back of 2 cars that were also traveling northbound. A state police report says that 60 feet of steel metal beam guardrail was damaged in that accident. People who drove by the scene described it as horrific. It occurred at about 2:30 in the afternoon Friday, but with the lengthy highway closure, traffic was backed up in Milford on the Boston Post Road and downtown into the evening. Now, the people in the other vehicles who suffered minor injuries, according to state police, were a 43-year-old woman, an 18-year-old man from Bridgeport in one car, and a 54-year-old man from North Haven in the other car. All were taken to Yale New Haven Hospital. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that 80-year-old David Haddon of Bridgeport has been identified as the victim of Friday's fatal hit and run, and a Bridgeport woman has been arrested in connection with that incident. According to police, Haddon was crossing Boston Avenue at Mill Hill Avenue when he was struck by a car traveling on Boston Avenue just before 4:15. He was transported to Bridgeport Hospital with cervical spine trauma and severe head trauma and was pronounced dead a few hours later. Now, the driver of that vehicle, 39-year-old Ayana Woodward of Bridgeport, was arrested and charged with misconduct with a motor vehicle, evading responsibility, and driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, as well as engaging police in pursuit. Now, the Bridgeport Police Serious Crash Investigation Team led the investigation of that scene. According to police, Woodward did not stop after hitting Haddon. A witness was able to provide a description of the vehicle and the license plate for police. That driver allegedly led police on a brief pursuit on I-95 southbound. They pursued the car and managed to detain the driver without injury. Woodward was pulled over on the exit 26 ramp of I-95 South. She reportedly failed field sobriety tests and was placed under arrest. And in other news, Norwalk detectives are investigating a bank robbery that occurred Friday at 11:30 in the morning at the First County Bank on Connecticut Avenue. Now, the suspect entered the bank and handed the teller a note, implying she had a gun. The suspect is described as a light-skinned black female in her late 20s or early 30s, about 5'4", with a stocky build and short black hair pulled behind her neck in a bun or a ponytail. Now, the suspect was wearing black framed glasses and a blue Walmart employee vest. Anyone with information is asked to contact Norwalk detectives at 203-854-3011, and anonymous tips can be left at norwalkpd.com. And classes are canceled at Joe Barlow today due to a broken pipe in the waste treatment system. This means there's no water pressure in the school, so today will be a total close for Joe Barlow. Now, updates will be posted at eastoncourier.com. Well, let's switch gears now. Throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank, things finally turning around this week.
Yeah, we saw some morning passing showers around the county, Kate, but that should do it for the rain as we are looking at much warmer weather and a sun-filled week. Increasingly windy out today, though. Gusts could reach as high as 30 miles per hour by this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies and an expected high of 68. Still breezy overnight, but skies will move to mostly clear and a low 48 before warming up on Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, warmer out with temperatures reaching into the high 70s. Not as windy, gusts only around 10 to 12 miles per hour during the afternoon. Clear skies again Tuesday night and warmer out, a low of 59 degrees as humidity levels are on the climb. Wednesday, temperatures should reach the low 80s as it continues to get warmer during the second half of this week. Partly sunny skies on Wednesday, on and off periods of cloud cover expected during the day. Partly clear overnight, a low of 64. Temperatures are going to be back on the rise again. Thursday, thermometers could continue getting closer and closer to hitting 90 before the end of this week. So brighter days on the way this week, Kate.
All right, maybe time to put the air conditioners in.
Yeah, it might be time to put the air conditioners in, and maybe we'll switch to the short sleeve button.
Yes, that's true. All right. Well, we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Lang will take a look back on this date in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more local news coming up after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Drive and Discover event. Now through May 31st.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now at 3 locations: 131 Kings Highway North in Westport, the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood-fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro specializing in authentic wood-fired brick oven pizza Napolitana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com and like us on Facebook.
At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference. Family and Children's Aid has been serving the community since 1809 and is now the largest outpatient children's mental health care provider in Western Connecticut. Our innovative services include providing shelter to homeless moms and children, substance abuse intervention, mental health counseling, and foster and adoptive services, among others. Our goal is to provide individuals and families a safe haven and hope for a brighter future. Find out more about us at fcaweb.org and call our Danbury campus at 203-748-5689. A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. Welcome back to this May 15th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network, and it's time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, the beginning of 70 years of conflict, actually a continuation of conflict, has gone back a lot farther than that. First, though, we go back to 1800. King George III of the United Kingdom, we know him as the king that lost the 13 colonies, but he survived an assassination attempt by James Hadfield on this day. Hadfield is a British Army veteran. He'd been struck in the head with a saber 8 times at the Battle of Turcoing. Later came to believe that his death at the hands of the British government would bring about the second coming of Jesus, and assumed he would be executed for treason. His plan fell through, though, when he was acquitted by reason of insanity. Hadfield would actually live 41 more years. 1905, Las Vegas, that's Spanish for the Meadows, is founded when 110 acres adjacent to the railroad tracks and what would later become downtown are auctioned off. The city has the distinction of being the largest city in the United States that was founded in the 20th century. Fun fact, the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign, added in 1959, has never actually been inside the city. 1940, the Richard and Maurice McDonald opened a barbecue restaurant in San Bernardino, California. Initially offering more than 40 different items, almost all of the restaurant's income came from burgers and fries. By 1948, all other food items had been dropped, and the brothers adopted assembly line-style food prep to speed up service. The McDonald's Corporation now includes some 37,000 locations and an annual income of $25 billion. Finally, now we go to 1948 in the Middle East for this.
Is like a belly in Israel. The West Bank was conquered by the Jordanian Legion during the War of Liberation. They came from the other side of the Jordan and they captured this area. Of course, they wanted to capture all over Israel, but what they succeeded in is capturing the West.
Just a few hours after declaring its independence, Israel is invaded by Transjordan, Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. The UN had partitioned the region and created a Jewish state the year before, but violence had erupted almost immediately. As a result of the split and the war, about 700,000 Palestinian people fled or were expelled from what became Israel. About an equal number of Jews arrived as refugees or immigrants. No territory was ever set aside for the Palestinian state. Wars between Israel and its Middle Eastern neighbors also erupted in 1956, 1967, 1973, 1982, and 2006. The conflict continues. That is your look back in history for today, May 15th. I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, state police were able to stop a wrong-way driver on I-91 this weekend before he hurt anyone. On May 13th at about 11 p.m., a state trooper was traveling on I-91 northbound at its intersection with the junction to Route 20. The suspect vehicle was observed traveling directly at the trooper the wrong way on the junction ramp. Now, the trooper was able to stop that vehicle and direct it safely to the right shoulder facing the proper direction. Troopers from Troop H arrived shortly after to assist in that investigation, and the accused, 28-year-old Thomas Trudell of Chicopee, Massachusetts, was field tested and subsequently arrested for driving under the influence, among other charges. Well, let's switch gears now and throw it back to Frank Granito for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And it is Monday, so we have our Week 4 winners in the Athlete of the Week voting. Congratulations to Ben Kasparius of the Staples baseball team and to Taylor Brown of the Trumbull softball team. Kasparius threw a no-hitter with 13 strikeouts for the Wreckers when they defeated Stanford High 18-0 last week. He also led the attack offensively with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in that game. He followed that performance up with another big game against the New Canaan Rams. Staples now 10-4, sits just a half game behind New Canaan in the standings. Taylor Brown led Trumbull to 3 victories. The sure-fielding shortstop had 3 hits, including a double and a triple in the Lady Eagles' 16-4 win over Wilton. Brown also knocked in 2 runs with 2 hits, including a double when Trumbull topped St. Joe 6-1. And she opened the week with a homer and 2 doubles and a 13-2 win at Greenwich High last week. So congratulations to Ben and Taylor. We will have our Week 5 nominees for you this afternoon on Nutmeg Sports when Kevin Coleman joins me at 2 o'clock. Of course, now we go back to Saturday. The HAN Network was live for a morning lacrosse game after weather pushed the start time up to 10 a.m. Trumbull and Fairfield Ludlow sitting in the 6th and 7th place positions in the conference, looking to get closer and closer to clinching a postseason berth. It would be the Trumbull Eagles who came away 12-8 the winner this weekend. A defensive battle, only 4-3 at halftime. Trumbull going ahead and scoring 3 goals in the final 2.5 minutes to take that halftime lead. Carter Liebrock made 9 saves in goal for the Falcons, while Quinn Thompson led the way offensively with 4 goals himself. But it wasn't enough as the Eagles broke out in the second half, led by freshman Griffin Schultz, junior Luke Kammerman, and senior captain Jake Leibowitz. Trumbull improving to 7-3 in FCIAC play. They're now in sole possession of 6th place and just a half game away from clinching their first playoff berth since 2013 in the FCIAC tournament. Let's take a look at the highlights from Trumbull's win on Saturday.
Thompson with it. Turnaround shot here, and he's able to convert as the Falcons strike first. Able to convert. Liebrock denying the Eagles at the opposite side, but Hoffman breaks his way to the cage, and he scores on the short side. The defense got lost on the slide. Hoffman walked in all alone. As back around towards the front of the net, and a big save by Vaughn. Wyckoff had a chance at the rebound, couldn't control it. Comes out to Thompson, and he blows it by the sophomore. It's 3-1.
Their better looks of the afternoon.
As Cameraman, quick catch and release, and he beats Liebrock upstairs. Left to play now. Tied at 3, trying to work all the way around. Another shot here, and it shuts again. Same move as his first goal, but this time he's on the left side of the cage, and Trumbull has their first lead of the day. Stick stronger on possession. You factor in the wet elements here as Hoffman diving to the front of the cage, and he nets one up top. Trumbull's back in the lead.
What a great athletic move there by Danny Hoffman.
And now they battle through a loose scrum. Coming up with it there, and what pretty passing. As this time it shuts, going over to Cameraman. And Coach Parisi might want to take a timeout on his job very well. That's why they have a 3-goal lead. It's a shot here down low. Slips by the left foot of Vaughn. It is Kleinbeck.
Be hurting the Falcons.
As Roberta catch and shoot. And the fastball's in upstairs. Liebrock never had a chance. Touch before they clinch their 7th win of this FCIAC season.
So congratulations to Trumbull. Again, the Eagles just a half game away from clinching that postseason berth. Fairfield Ludlow sits in 8th place, but they control their own fate, a game ahead of Fairfield Ward, and they hold the tiebreaker over the Mustangs. Again, we will announce the nominees for our Week 5 Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Danbury Orthopedics this afternoon at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. And we have got baseball on the network this afternoon. New Canaan, currently 2nd in the conference, travels to number 3 Ridgefield at 4 o'clock. Both teams have clinched a spot in the postseason, but they are hoping to solidify a home game for that first round game. That'll do it for this Nutmeg Sports update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, in other local news, alternating one-way traffic will return to Route 35 in Ridgefield this week, but only intermittently. The project's contractor is scheduling alternating one-way traffic today and now between Wednesday the 17th and Friday, May 19th, according to Ryan Wojcinski of the State Department of Transportation, who notified the town on Friday. Work at the site requiring alternating traffic is usually scheduled to start after the morning commute rush is over and to end before the afternoon commute starts. This week, it might not last the full 6 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., according to Wojcinski. All work, of course, is weather permitting. And the Wilton Chamber of Commerce reports that a recent poll of its member restaurants shows a strong interest in quickly updating closing hours to coincide with the town's revised alcohol rules. The revision to the rules was passed by a wide margin in the annual town meeting votes on May 2nd and May 6th. The town vote was 1,668 to 340. This will allow alcohol sales Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m., Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. and New Year's Eve until 3 a.m. It essentially scraps the local guidelines for closing hours at restaurants that serve alcohol and allows restaurants to follow the state's more liberal guidelines, as do surrounding towns. Now, the Economic Development Commission, which pushed the Board of Selectmen to put the matter to a town meeting vote, hopes that with the local change, local restaurants will be able to compete better with those in surrounding towns. And those who use the Norwalk River Valley Trail this week may meet up with some volunteers. 8 volunteers, primarily from Wilton, will be counting and surveying trail users on that Wilton loop now through May 21st. Executive Director Charlie Taney said the Norwalk River Valley Trail is one of 15 trails participating in the Connecticut Trail Census. That data will be gathered to help the NRVT and its supporters understand how often that trail is being used, by whom, and for what purposes. That information will help in planning the further expansion of that trail. And they say a dog is man's best friend, but for 15-year-old Kimberly Collis of Monroe, a dog just may be a lifesaver. Shortly after her second birthday, Kimberly, who is now a Massac High School sophomore, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Since that time, she and her family have worked diligently to try and monitor and treat her illness. Well, since type 1 diabetes can affect nearly every organ in the body and have life-threatening complications, time is of the essence in keeping her blood glucose levels in check. Recently, the Collis family learned how specially trained dogs can help provide life-saving support by detecting fluctuating glucose levels a full 30 to 45 minutes before diabetics even feel the effects themselves. The Collis family has begun a campaign to raise funds for a service dog through the nonprofit organization Service Dogs by Warren Retrievers. It helps families and individuals with disabilities like Kimberly's find resources and raise funds to obtain those service dogs. And you can find out how you can help their cause at MonroeCourier.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Sign-ups are now open for one of our most popular programs, the New England 80 Elite Lacrosse Division I and Division III showcases. With D1 and D3 coaches in attendance, players will receive a 60-minute webinar with Director of Recruiting Hans Hansen, a custom NE80 penny, custom shorts, and a video of all games. Last year's event sold out quickly, so sign up now for the next showcase coming in January 2018. Like and follow us on Facebook.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Tuesday Pazza Pizza.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Stratford police are looking for a man who held up a Barnum Avenue convenience store with a rifle and had reportedly held up the same store a few days before. Police said a man entered the 24/7 Express store on Barnum Avenue just after midnight on May 5th. Police said the store's clerk was alone when the suspect came in, wearing a white hoodie over his head, a black ski mask over the bottom half of his face, as well as white sweatpants and black gloves. Police said the suspect, a white or Hispanic man, held a large rifle with a scope and pointed it at the clerk, telling him to give him money or he would shoot him. The clerk gave that suspect about $200 from the cash register, and police said the suspect put the rifle into his waistband and down his sweatpant leg. The suspect then left the store on foot, traveling across Barnum Avenue onto Broadbridge Avenue northbound. Now, the store's clerk told police that the suspect spoke English, and this was the same suspect who robbed the Express store back on April 30th. Police later used a canine unit and found a .22 caliber rifle, a $10 bill, and a pair of black sunglasses in the front yard of 1671 Broadbridge Avenue. They're now asking anyone with additional information to call Stratford police. And a video that apparently shows a 15-year-old after he was shot by a Bridgeport police officer was obtained by state police, and authorities confirmed that on Sunday. The Associated Press reports that police said they have seen the video posted Friday on Twitter and Instagram by Giovanni Rivera, who says he's the cousin of Jason Negron. Police said Bridgeport officer James Boulay shot the teen after Negron struck the officer with a stolen car last Tuesday. Police pronounced Negron dead at the scene. Negron's passenger, 21-year-old Julian Fief of Bridgeport, was shot in the shoulder and is expected to make a full recovery. Now, no one in that car had a weapon. The 1-minute shaky amateur video shows a handcuffed Negron lying on the ground. The camera turns away from him, and when it cuts back 4 seconds later, Negron's head changes direction. An officer is standing near him, and toward the end of the video, an officer wearing gloves appears to reach down as if he's going to lift Negron. Rivera told the Hartford Courant that his family was told Negron was killed when he was shot, but thinks the video contradicts that. He said if that crucial part of the story is a lie, then everything else is up for question. Autopsy results show that Negron died from gunshot wounds to the chest. And one person suffered serious injuries and 3 suffered minor injuries in a 3-car Route 15 crash in Milford Friday afternoon that shut down the northbound lane of the highway for 4 hours. According to state police, a 26-year-old Meriden man was seriously injured after the Chevy Express cargo van he was driving northbound struck the back of 2 cars that were also going northbound. A state police report said that 60 feet of steel metal beam guardrail was damaged in that accident. People who drove by the scene described it as horrific. It occurred at about 2:30 in the afternoon, but with the lengthy highway closure, traffic was backed up in Milford into the evening hours. The people in the other vehicles who suffered injuries, according to state police, were a 43-year-old woman, an 18-year-old man from Bridgeport in one car, and a 54-year-old man from North Haven in the other car. All were taken to Yale New Haven Hospital. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that 80-year-old David Haddon of Bridgeport has been identified as the victim of a Friday fatal hit and run, and a Bridgeport woman has been arrested in connection with that incident. According to police, Haddon was crossing Boston Avenue at Mill Hill Avenue when he was struck by a car traveling on Boston Ave just before 4:15 p.m. He was transported to Bridgeport Hospital with cervical spine trauma and severe head trauma, and he was pronounced dead a few hours later. The driver of the vehicle, 39-year-old Ayanna Woodward of Bridgeport, was arrested and charged with misconduct with the motor vehicle, evading responsibility, as well as driving under the influence, engaging police in pursuit, and not having insurance. The Bridgeport Police Crash Investigators team led the investigation of the scene, and according to police, Woodward did not stop after hitting Haddon. A witness was able to provide a description of her vehicle and the license plate for police. The driver led police on a brief pursuit on I-95 southbound, and they pursued the car and managed to detain the driver without injury. She was pulled over on the exit 26 ramp of I-95 South, and she reportedly failed field sobriety tests and was placed under arrest. And Norwalk detectives are investigating a bank robbery that occurred Friday at 11:30 in the morning at the First County Bank on Connecticut Avenue. The suspect entered the bank and handed the teller a note, implying she had a gun. The suspect is described as a light-skinned black female in her late 20s or early 30s, approximately 5'4", with a stocky build and short black hair pulled behind her neck in a bun or a ponytail. The suspect was wearing black framed glasses and a blue Walmart employee vest. Anyone with information is asked to contact Norwalk detectives at 203-854-3011. Let's take a turn now, get one final look at the forecast with Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And again, we have moved past the rain from this weekend. We saw some morning showers, but they have passed on. Increasingly windy out today. Gusts could reach 30 miles per hour at times during the day. Partly cloudy skies, an expected high of 68. Still breezy overnight. Mostly clear and a low of 48 before heating up Tuesday morning. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Warmer out, temperatures reaching into the high 70s. Not as windy, gusts around 10 to 12 miles per hour in the afternoon. Clear skies again Tuesday night. Warmer out though, a low of 59 as humidity is on the rise as well. Wednesday temperatures should reach into the low 80s. It continues to get warmer during the second half of this week. Partly sunny skies Wednesday, on and off periods of clouds expected during the afternoon. Partly clear overnight, a low of 64. And temperatures back on the rise again Thursday. Thermometers are continuing to get closer and closer to 90 degrees as summer weather, Kate, is starting to make its way into Fairfield County.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but coming up at 2 o'clock, Nutmeg Sports. 4 o'clock, live baseball on the HAN Network, Frank.
Right, we're at Governor's Park in Ridgefield, New Canaan, and Ridgefield battling it out, second place in the conference on the line.
All right, and we will see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Have a great day.